Is it so bad that it warrants the total and permanent destruction of a person's life? Now, to the social media mob, the answer is always yes. By now, you may have heard the name Shiloh Hendricks. Up until last week, no one outside of her friends and personal acquaintances knew she existed. Now she's at the center of one of the more intense social media controversies that we've seen in recent years. And it all began in the late afternoon on April 28th, when the woman we now know as Shiloh Hendricks took her young child to a park in Rochester, Minnesota. And at some point, a black child, reportedly 5 years old, tried to steal something from her diaper bag. Shiloh apparently responded in anger, and as the story goes, she called the boy the N-word. Now, a man named Sharmaki Omar, a Somali immigrant and not the boy's father, allegedly witnessed this altercation and decided to pull out his phone. And the resulting video has gone extremely viral across every major social media platform. Here it is.
You call him a child? Did you call the child the N-word? It is my business. You call him a... Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say. Nobody dig into your shit. That little kid, you call him a... The little child? Are you about to hit him? You chasing him?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech, and you can be recorded for that. Huh. Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
Now, before we continue with the story, which takes several more twists and turns, we should note a few things. First of all, we don't actually know for sure that the boy is 5 years old. That's coming from the man filming, who is apparently not related to the child. In the video, we appear to get a glimpse of the kid, and from the glimpse anyway, he definitely looks older than 5. Omar has additionally claimed that the boy is autistic, which we also have no proof of, and we have no footage of the actual encounter between the kid and this woman. Did she scream the N-word in his face? Did she mutter it under her breath? Did she say it about the child after he'd already run away? We don't know. And as far as I've seen, we haven't heard anything from the boy's parents. We don't know where they were in all of this, if they were even there, which is very strange. So there are many aspects of this story that are bizarre and unconfirmed. And here's another disturbing detail. The Somali man behind the camera, Omar, was charged a couple of years ago with sexually assaulting a minor. And according to the local news channel KTTC, those charges were dismissed. A separate report by the local ABC affiliate adds that the charges were dismissed, quote, in the interest of justice, whatever the hell that means. But whatever it means, now Omar, who was previously charged with sexually assaulting a minor, is at a playground with his camera out filming. So make of all of that what you will. So there are quite a few details that still need to be filled in here, but the saga continues anyway. What happened next is quite predictable. The social media mob went to work. They set out to identify this, at the time, anonymous woman and ruin her life, or worse. Here's one of the guys who got things kicked off. Watch.
God help us. She claims that other child took her son's belongings. That's what kicked this off. The guy who recorded the video is familiar with the other child. He brings his children there. That child and his siblings are often there and play together. The kid she's going after has autism. He doesn't behave in a neurotypical way. And even if he didn't have autism, nothing he could have done would justify her calling him slurs and pursuing him physically, which is what she says she was doing before this guy intervened. He said after he stopped recording, she sat down, hurled more slurs, told him and his wife that they should leave the country, and then got on the phone and acted like she was calling someone to come down there and handle things. Fortunately, no one came, and eventually she packed up her child and left. But this woman is a danger to children. She doesn't need to be on a playground or around other kids, and she has at least one child of her own, which is also concerning. So Rochester, Minnesota, someone do me a favor. Take a close look, tattoos, you can see the face clearly. Someone please tell me who she is.
Okay, so she's a danger to children. She shouldn't be allowed at playgrounds. She shouldn't be allowed at playgrounds, not the guy that was charged with sexually assaulting a minor.
Oh, wow. And it's funny, if he was charged with that, why didn't you white folk go out there and get him arrested? Y'all like to pull everybody's cars. Why didn't you pull that car, but you don't pull the car to go get cops? Sorry, hey y'all, Gravity, any day above ground live it. I hope you're having a fantastic start to your Wednesdays. Wednesdays, hump day, go hump something. I just want y'all to understand the overarching theme of this live. They want permission to say the N-word. The country's in trouble, but this is what they're willing to die on the hill for, to say the N-word. Cool.
But he says, please, internet, find her, and countless others joined in. And in some cases, they were calling for the woman to be imprisoned for saying a bad word. Watch.
Shiloh, according to Matt Walsh, Shiloh will soon be, he wants it to be a racial slur on the level of Karen and the N-word.
I share. Trying to find the woman who called the little boy the N-word, the 5-year-old little boy, artistic boy. She needs to be found and locked up. So please tap in.
Now, there are many other videos of people hoping that she would be found and physically assaulted or killed. Some were even threatening violence against her baby that you can see in the video.
Oh, Matt, you don't like that, huh? You're not liking that? It's funny because y'all did the same thing with old Carmelo, and you didn't say a word about that. Oh, we were looking. Interesting.
One example.
He said, hey, TikTok, I just got a real quick question. So we all know what happened with Shiloh Hendricks and how she got all this money, right? Off all the wrong reasons. But you know what? It is what it is at this point, right? So I'm just sitting here thinking, what about the baby? What about the baby? Because technically, that baby is going to grow up and be part of the Triple K. That baby might grow up to be Hitler. That baby is going to grow up and probably be the worst of the worst out there in the world. And you know what? I don't want that baby policing children that look like me. I don't want that baby growing up doing anything else that to people that look like me, all because it was taught that. But since, unfortunately, CPS is not going to be able to do nothing, what should we do? I think you guys should let me know in the comments, because part of my thinking was, start a GoFundMe, raise about $1 million, go slap the hell out that baby. Make that baby brainless or something for a while. At least it still get to live. I mean, it just might be,
It's funny that he keeps picking out these videos off TikTok, but I thought y'all told me TikTok was, never mind. So he's gonna play 2 or 3 videos and say this is the entirety of the black community, but if I did that, I get yelled at. All right, say less. By the way, I've never heard somebody condone this. Slapping the kid. The kid has nothing to do with this. But, this is just tells you that them folk, they don't care about progeny. They don't.
But hey, that's what happens when you grow up with racist ass parents. You gotta eat their consequences.
Now, I would say that encouraging people to beat a baby unconscious is worse than saying a bad word to a child, a lot worse. And yet there's no mom forming against that guy or the dozens of other people who hit like on that video. So this is all unfolded as you would expect up to this point, leading to the predictable news that the Rochester Police Department is now actively investigating the woman, and others began calling for CPS to get involved and remove her child from the home. For example, there's a guy we'll put up on the screen who wrote a letter to CPS, which he published on his website, claiming again that Shiloh's a danger to her own child.
Shout out to Mike Baggs.
And that the child should be taken out of the home. And pretty soon, with thousands upon thousands of people whipped into a pitchfork mob, she had been identified by name, but not just her name. Her phone number was posted all over the internet, her address, her social security number, her alleged places of employment. People were calling her phone and making death threats and then bragging about it openly. Again, so far this story is following the script that we all know by heart. A random person is caught on camera doing something rude or offensive. The video is posted by some third party, usually somebody who wasn't even involved in the incident. And then thousands of sociopaths set out to destroy the person's life and possibly get them killed, all for sport, as a form of sadistic entertainment.
Isn't that high hypocrisy coming from this man? Matt Walsh, you literally saw, and you've participated in this as well. So don't act like you haven't done this. You literally sat up there and watched people say stuff about George Floyd and all these other black people that got killed, and you joined in on it by lying. And keep repeating the lie and kept repeating the lie and kept repeating the lie. Even when you got checked with the proof, you still kept up the lie. But now you want to get upset that people are doing the same exact thing that you did and others did and people that follow you. So you should be able to, so you're saying you and your side should be the only ones able to monetize and sway the conversation this way. Huh. Okay.
Nobody stops to think about the consequences. There's
Nobody stops to think about the consequences. You right. You're right. Nobody stops. Y'all don't stop. Them fools that are black that do that, they don't stop. Hispanics, Asians, you're right. They don't. But I thought you guys created society. So since you created society, you should be stopping this. You should be putting a stop to all this. You should be the moral compass. Maybe you're in the magnetic storm right now. Maybe that's why your moral compass isn't working. Maybe that's what it is. Go ahead.
no consideration of proportionality. Saying the N-word to a child in a moment of anger is bad. Is it so bad that it warrants the total and permanent destruction of a person's life? Is it so bad that they deserve to have their physical safety and the safety of their family put in jeopardy? Is it so bad that they deserve to have their child assaulted? Is it that kind of bad? Now, to the social media mob, the answer is always yes. It's always yes, that is, provided that the offending stranger fits certain parameters. And the most important parameter is that the person, the offender, is white. And we all know how this script ends. The offender, in a desperate attempt to call off the dogs, tearfully apologizes and begs for mercy, a mercy that they surely will not receive. But that is where the M. Night Shyamalan twist ending comes into play. Because Shiloh Hendricks did not apologize. Instead, she posted a crowdfunding campaign on Give, Send, Go, where she doubled down and defended her actions and asked for help to relocate and get her family to safety. And then a double twist. A different group formed to counter the outrage mob. They started donating to her campaign, and she surpassed her original funding goal in less than a day. Within 3 days, she had earned over $500,000. Now she's somewhere north of $600,000. So the woman who was supposed to have her life ruined by the mob is instead on her way to potentially becoming a millionaire. Now, this twist, as you can imagine, has outraged the outrage mob even more, but a large number of prominent people on the right are also horrified by this turn of events. Just as one example, Colin Wright tweeted, "The woke right is now mirroring the woke left's tendency to glorify and martyr immoral degenerates solely based on shared racial identity. This woke one-upmanship is a race to the very bottom." Many conservative influencers and commentators, many of them who I like and respect, have echoed this sentiment. They say that, the people donating to this woman are behaving no better than the left. They say that this is the right's version of the Carmelo Anthony fundraiser that also raised $500,000, even though he stabbed somebody to death, which I hope we can agree is far, far worse than saying a bad word.
In self-defense, watch your mouth.
Some have even speculated that this whole thing is some kind of psyop meant to delegitimize the movement and make conservatives look racist. To that,
You're already racist, most of y'all. And a lot of y'all that walked into the conservative space, y'all caused this because you guys grifted over to that side. So cut it out. If you heard the upload that I did this morning, that is a prime example. But continue. Yes, Michael, that was self-defense. Now, if you want to argue with that, we can argue with that for about 5 minutes.
Must assure them, despite how it may seem, that not everything is a psyop. There are things that really just happen in life. Some things do just happen, and I think this is one of them. Now,
Prove it wasn't.
I understand that some people on my side feel, to put it scientifically, icky about this whole thing. I understand why they feel icky. I understand why they don't want to condone saying racial slurs to children. I don't want to condone it either, and I don't. And nobody really does. But I think they're missing the point. In the past, most people enjoyed genuine privacy. What changed?
Oh, Lord. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think they understand what's actually happening here or why. It is, in the end, a net positive that this woman has raised $500,000. I'm glad she has. I hope she raises $1 million. I will not be joining with some of my conservative friends in wagging my finger at her donors, and I'll explain why. First of all, she does have a legitimate need for the money. The mob is truly trying to get her killed.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Sir, 2 weeks ago, you just said Carmelo Anthony didn't need that money, and you looked at it as a, why are people doing this? Why are they donating to a killer? Is he serious right now? He's not serious. Oh, Lord have mercy. Ain't nobody finna kill her, Matt. Jesus. Matt Walsh. I know America is in the toilet right now, but ain't nobody finna go up to Rochester, Minnesota and do harm to this woman. If that was gonna happen, they would have done it the day they were filming. Let me guess, somebody from Minneapolis would go over there and smack her. That's what you're saying. Okay, they doxed her. Nobody touched her. It's funny because he didn't say this 2 weeks ago when Carmelo Anthony's family were getting all that money and they had to relocate because of threats. He didn't say that this was good because their family might get deleted. Didn't say that. We heard it. We listened. But you're going to get a white girl. Never mind. Go ahead.
I don't believe that a woman should have her life threatened for saying a word, even a bad one. You can say freedom of speech, but not freedom from consequences for your speech, all you want. But if losing your livelihood and having your house burned down is a consequence of your speech, then you do not have free speech.
War started over words, sir. Again, since you're not a student of history, wars have started over words. Because your new thing is now, we should be able to say anything we want. Okay, free speech has a cost. Your alleged forefathers, even though your family are Ellis Island immigrants, they had to pay a hefty cost for First Amendment speech. They had to lose thousands of people for that. I love how y'all think that your Constitution and your Bill of Rights is just two free documents that they just wrote up just because. But all right, go ahead.
Supporting free speech means supporting someone's ability to speak without having their family murdered for it. Okay, I mean, that should be pretty obvious. Second, more importantly, and this is the part that
Yes, Steve, it is acceptable. Because let me ask you this. If somebody was barking in your wife's face, you're not going to defend her? Let me know. I just want to know what the thinking is with y'all's generation. If your old lady, you out with your old lady, some idiot come up to y'all, start barking in her face, you're not going to defend her. Say less.
that I really need everyone to stop.
Oh, Candy Corpse. Tell me where this video is. Where's the video? Because that's funny, Candy Corpse, because we keep our ears to the ground. And the last time we heard about a video with Carmelo, the cops took everybody's phone. So where is this video of Carmelo stabbing this kid? Where is it? Show it to us. Give me the link.
This is.
We'll play it right
most
now. I'll risk the
devastating attack
live.
on
I'll play it
cancel
right now.
culture
Go get me the
that we
video.
have seen, possibly ever. Shiloh Hendricks has, without really trying, effectively ended cancel culture. As Mark Dice said in his video about the incident, Shiloh is the final boss of cancel culture, or maybe rather the final boss that cancel culture has to fight. And I think that's right. And this is the part that many conservatives seem to be missing. All they see is that this woman said something bad and is now getting rewarded for it. The whole thing is so unsavory.
The Ukrainians have entered the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it is unsavory. You wish that Shiloh had said or done something that we could affirmatively defend. That would be much easier. Nobody wants to affirmatively defend cussing out a 5-year-old, even though I don't think the kid's actually 5. But none of that is the point. The point is that the only way to put an end to this routine, the routine where the outrage mob mobilizes and assembles to destroy somebody's life, is to disincentivize the routine. And the only way to disincentivize that behavior is to reward the person who's being targeted.
Are you serious? Say that again. Say that again. Listen, Michael, you Ukrainian, you. White guilt? How did white guilt start? Sounds like y'all were weak.
Disincentivize the routine. And the only way to disincentivize that behavior is to reward the person who's being targeted.
Jesus Christ. Didn't y'all argue that a decade ago? During the quote-unquote rise of BLM, when y'all were running around saying everybody was committing these hoaxes? Do you want to go back to that? I tell you they dumb. I tell you they dumb. Oh my God. So Matt Walsh wants to incentivize people to create hoaxes, go online and give Saying Go, because they said they're not going to take it down, and just collect money from the masses. So we're gonna do an outrage wealth transfer. This is what Matt Walsh is asking y'all to advocate for. Got it.
Now, we can complain all we want about the mob tactics and how they silence and punish people and exact vengeance in wildly disproportionate ways. We can condemn it. We can write think pieces about it.
If you're going to spell words, Michael, spell them correctly.
None of that matters. None of that will stop them. The only thing that can stop them, the only thing that will make them think twice about doing this again, is if they know that instead of getting their target canceled, they might accidentally make them rich. And more important, even than the money, they must know that their attempt to isolate and ostracize somebody will fail. That for every person condemning the targeted person, 2 more will rally to their defense. The motto of the cancel mob for a long time has always been, make this person famous. And a lot of them were saying that about Shiloh.
Y'all did that for a decade. Look how many people the right has made famous over a decade. I don't think you're in any position to be talking. We could talk about how the left is sitting there propping up the worst of the worst, like Tamika Mallory. Look how many people on your side y'all propped up. Never vetted them, by the way. Never vetted them. And you gave them prominent access that they needed to earn. But just because you saw one video or one post that they put up, y'all made them famous. And now they turning. The left has their grifters, the right has their grifters. You got it, Matt, though. Go ahead.
Let's make her famous. Now, the assumption is that
Sean King can do whatever he wants.
Exclusively negative.
He ain't gonna get far, but do him. Go ahead. Spend your money.
Making them bankrupt, making them persona non grata.
Mm-hmm.
With this case, that assumption has been flipped on its head. Because now the mob knows that making them famous might help them more than hurt them. Rather than the fame being punished, it's rewarded. That's the only way to stop this. The making them famous tactic now has a powerful disincentive attached. Think of it this way.
Oh, God.
Justine Sacco was widely considered the patient zero of cancel culture. Back in 2013, she was on a flight to Africa when she tweeted jokingly that she hopes she doesn't get AIDS when she gets to Africa. And when she landed hours later, you're probably familiar with the story, she discovered that her tweet had gone viral across the country. The mob had made her famous, and she lost her job. She was cast out of polite society. Her life, as she knew it, was over. And our culture, as we knew it, had also been changed irrevocably. Now, I wish that somebody had started a crowdfunding campaign for her all the way back in 2013.
GoFundMe was
I
around.
wish that while half the internet was trying to wreck her life over a dumb joke, the other half had made her rich. I wish
A
people
dumb
had donated
joke.
$500,000. I wish they donated $1 million. I wish they donated $50 million.
Oh, God.
And that's not because I think an AIDS joke is worth $50 million.
You just said it was a dumb joke, but you just said incentivize people to do stupid things. So you're, logically speaking, you're telling us that she should have got $50 million for making an AIDS joke. Why don't we just pay someone $1 billion for a 9/11 joke? Why don't we do that? Give people money for making dead baby jokes. Go ahead. These people are great. They're great. They are great.
It wasn't that good of a joke. It's not because I think that Justine Sacco is some great hero. It's because that would have destroyed cancel culture in its infancy.
How?
The entire incentive structure around this online left-wing version of mob justice would have been
Left wing now.
right at the start.
Left wing. But he just said that people on his side were outraged at what this white woman did. So how is it left wing? Oh my Lord. So are you admitting there's left wingers in conservative spaces? Is that what you're telling me? Conservatives are, some of these conservatives are really left wingers. Is that what you're trying to insinuate, Matt? Which goes back to my original point. Y'all didn't vet nobody. Okay. Okay.
If they made her famous and she profited from the fame rather than being ruined by it, then the make her famous tactic would have died right there, and that would have been the end of it. But it didn't die. Instead, the mob was emboldened. Mob justice worked out really well for the mob nearly every time for the next decade and a half. Now that's finally changed. And you don't have to like Shiloh or agree with her choice of words to see that. Speaking of her choice of words, there is another point that I think has to be made here. The mob.
Oh, George, they already made plenty of jokes about that cop getting run over. Them white folk ain't like it too tough. Huh. Imagine that. But I didn't see Matt talk about that. Interesting. I'll wait for that.
That tried unsuccessfully to cancel Shiloh Hendricks was far, far more outraged over Shiloh saying the N-word than they were over Carmelo Anthony stabbing somebody to death. Indeed, many.
You were the same asshole who said Karen should be on the same level as nigger.
Many of them actively supported Carmelo Anthony murdering Austin Metcalf. They rewarded him financially for it.
Marty Lynn, you could say whatever you want. You got to deal with the consequences. And if you can't understand that you don't need to be living here, go somewhere where you can say whatever you want and nobody touches you.
And this is all part of the preposterous racial double standard.
That's not what he's saying.
American culture.
Jesus Christ, you're not even listening.
It is a double standard that declares it a greater crime for a white person to say a word than for a black person to kill a white person.
Oh my God.
Could even be a just punishment.
What the fuck? Say that again.
That
Say that again.
declares it a greater crime for a white person to say a word than for a black person
Oh
to
my
kill
God.
a white person.
Dumbass. A white person can say something, get called out for it, and disappear, like you just said. Nothing's gonna happen to them except, okay, their life. They gotta redo it. Carmelo Anthony right now can literally go in front of a judge and get found guilty and go sit down. How is that worse? How is the word worse? Jesus Christ. Okay.
In fact, killing a white person could even be a just punishment for saying that word, according to these standards. The rules surrounding this word, the moral weight granted to it, the arbitrary guidelines drawn around it, it's all nonsense. It's all indefensible on both moral and intellectual grounds. People are fed up with it. That's what you're seeing in the story. People are just fed up with it. Now, that child is like the average black child in this country. Did not hear the N-word for the first time from a white woman at the park last week.
What the fuck? How you know his life? You know that, hey, Matt, not every black person or the average black person, like you said, has heard the N-word in their when they were growing up. There's a lot of black people that didn't hear it. So I don't know what you're talking about. Oh my Lord.
Okay? He's no doubt heard it thousands of times. He likely
How
hears
do
it
you
every
know
day.
that?
He hears it in his own home. Are we supposed to believe that he's heard the word 1,000 times, but it's time 1001 that really traumatized him?
Oh my God.
I mean, the idea that the word is a common greeting for one race, but unspeakably evil if uttered by...
Hey, we commonly greet each other with the N-word. Marty, here. We'll help you. Those charges were dropped. Maybe if you did research and Matt would have told you that, you would have known that. But I get it. You get your news from influencers. I understand. I get it. It's okay.
by a different race is laughably ridiculous. The idea that one race can say the word 10,000 times a day and the other race cannot speak the syllables under any circumstance, even if they're just repeating what someone else said or singing along to a rap song, is totally indefensible, which is why no one has ever tried to defend it. Instead, it's just yet another, racial rule of the road that we're supposed to follow without ever asking any questions about it.
Good, Matt. I'm about done with you. Okay, Matt, you want to play that game? Let's play that game. Go ahead and go in front of them Jews and say the K word. Go ahead. Go ahead. Let's have fun. Show me something. You work for you have a boss emeritus that is Jewish. Go ahead and just casual conversation, drop the K word. You know what? Since you want to talk about song lyrics, sing They Don't Care About Us fully. Not the edited version. Say the version Mike recorded. When he said, "You can't K me." Say it in front of him. I dare you. Say Heeb. Say it. It's not that. Since y'all want to talk about free speech so much, y'all should say everything under the sun. Show me something. I will believe you. Yes, Rucko Bold. The word like, but put K in front of it. And replace the L with a K. Say that word. Go ahead. Since you want everybody to say the word. You want everybody to be able to say the N-word. Cool. Since y'all are the moral authority of America and the world, give everybody the permission to say the K word. Go ahead. Let's open it up for everybody. We should bring back all the racial slurs for Asians then. Let's do that. Come on now. Might as well go for the full Monty. Might as well. But we know you won't do it, Matt, because you're scared. Even with Nick Fuentes running around talking about them Jews, y'all still won't say it. Y'all actually got respect for him. It's crazy. Candid Gaming, it's not even that they don't care. I want to see them say it. They want so bad to say the N-word. I don't know why. We have problems in this country, and this is the hill they're willing to die on. Cool. Then they should say that everybody should be able to say whatever they want to whoever they want to. Cool. Say that K word. Say it. Say the H word. Say it. That, simple. Simple. Let's see. Is it this one?
I want to live in a country.
Nah, I need the full one. We're gonna watch the full one. Let me just get his YouTube. But anyway, how y'all doing today? I forgot to ask that.
2 years ago,
I don't care.
I interviewed Kanye West on Uncensored after he'd made global headlines.
I don't care. You talked to Kanye, that's great. I don't care. Okay, where is that video? You did it yesterday. Here we go. This should be fun. He had a nice little panel yesterday. He brought on Amru, Mark Lamont Hill, Lily Gaddis, and some other ugly looking chick. I don't know. Y'all see them dislikes though. Them dislikes is crazy. But all right, let's see what they saw about. Let's play this back. There we go.
The Fresh and Fit podcast, Myron Gaines, the host of Night School on YouTube, Mark Lamont Hill, Lily Gaddis, a social media commentator whose video defense of the N-word mother has so far been viewed millions of times on X, and the New York Post columnist and author Ricky Schlott. Well, welcome to all of you. Ricky, look, my take on this is a stain on all their houses, right? I just don't know what is happening to society when you have such vast sums of money being raised for what seems to me to be deliberate, racially charged, motivational reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're fighting ugly with ugly right now, and I think this level of racial
Marty,
populism and
we
hostility
don't even
is
call white
simply
people
not
slurs like that.
sustainable in
But
such a
go ahead, go
diverse
off.
democracy like America. I think it's one is really reacting.
Why
to
y'all
the other.
acting like
These
victims?
are really hideous, and I think we're showing our ugliest colors. I mean, in the
Be
scheme of things, these are
victors,
small
not
sums
victims.
relative to the population of America, but you do see, I think, a really tremendous explosion of ugliness and racial hostility that I think that we should all be ashamed and embarrassed of.
Yeah, I mean, you described it, I think, in one of your posts as genuinely, is this a psyop? This would be the best $1 million invested by a foreign adversary to start a race war in America. And I knew exactly what you were getting at, because many of the comments have now been suspended, actually, on both of these funding pages, because people were quite obviously deliberately misusing them to post race-baiting commentary.
Absolutely. I mean, if you go through some of the comments on either of them, you have White Lives Matter on one side, and like suggestions that the teenage boy who was stabbed was somehow like a manifestation of white supremacy, and it seems to be just a fight at a track meet that has nothing to do with racial hostility in the first place. And the poor father of this young man who died too said, "Please don't make this into a racial issue." And yet, on his own Give Send Go campaign, there are comments after comments saying this is White Lives Matter, we're avenging against Carmelo Anthony's family. I mean, on all ends, this is ugly. I think that it's really co-opting the charity and giving community. I mean, I feel bad for the fundraising platforms, because I don't think this was the intention originally. But unfortunately, I think that people.
Hey, Punky Bruce, I think they want us to call them honkies again. They like honky. Shout out to you, Tom Willis's out there. Y'all make the world go round.
Really starting to take over good intents and the charity industrial complex to make it into a victim industrial complex, and it's really sad to see.
Well, we're going to have one of the founders of the Give, Send, Go site a little later in the program. But Mark Lamont Hill, you were shaking your head there. I mean, what's your take on this?
There are a couple of things that were said that I think are really interesting and important. One, there is an outside audience of people who are watching all of this and opportunistically using it for their own agendas and projects. You know, I have an investment in Believing X, so I'm going to jump in the comments of this GoFundMe, etc. I have an investment in Y. I'm going to do the same thing.
Hey, dude, fix your
What I don't
mic.
want to do is compare these two things as if they're opposite sides of the same coin. For me, the intention of the campaign matters. In the case of this woman who is using the N-word, The woman isn't disputing using the N-word. The woman isn't disputing being racist. And the comments that are
Georgiana, you better not say that. They're going to get at you in here.
suspended, and the attitudes behind it weren't saying she's being railroaded, she's being misrepresented. They were simply saying, we support racism. And I think that's disgusting, no matter who's doing it. On the other hand, the people who are fundraising for Carmelo Anthony, the argument here isn't, yeah, we did something and we don't care like the other woman. The argument is, we're being misrepresented here. We're being railroaded. This was a self-defense claim. This is not an act of violence. This isn't a first-degree murder. I'm saying what they're saying. This isn't my argument. They're saying this is a first-degree murder claim that is wrong. This is actually self-defense, and we need the money to make sure that we get a fair trial. I think, and so whether you agree with his argument or not, I think raising money for a fair trial is different than raising money for a racist.
I mean, I think the common theme between the two, and this is not to.
He needs to fix his mic. Everybody's pissing me off right now.
Strong views about it. I guess the common theme is that both of them say that as a result of all the publicity, they've been doxxed and had all their personal details put everywhere on social media, which is, of course, the modern scourge which gets involved. And that as a result, they've had death threats and they have security issues and they have to move home and so on. You know, I understand that part of the argument. You know, when you're at the center of a firestorm in America and you're not used to public attention, then the levels of intimidation, threats, and so on that can come your way can be extremely intimidating, if not outright dangerous. So it's different, really, to taking a view about either of the cases, to simply say that the commonality is that they both, I think, have said in defending the amounts that have been raised is, well, we have to defend ourselves. Either, as you're putting it, through the courts, but also in his case, the alleged killer, that he has also, I think, had direct threats against him. And in the case of the mother using the N-word in that despicable manner, she has said she's had a lot of threats too.
But my quick response to that would just be, let's assume everybody's telling the truth. Let's assume she's telling the truth, and let's assume he's telling the truth. If he's telling the truth and he was doing self-defense and he's getting harassed and doxxed, and of course we already know lies have been told about his GoFundMe campaign saying they were spending it on mansions and cars and all the kind of racist tropes. If that's true, he's being mistreated, and I think that's a sort of very easy case to make. When it comes to her, however,
Stephen Veach, the reason why they did that is to justify what that white woman did. That's the only reason why they brought it up. If he can make money deleting somebody, she should be able to raise money for saying a word. That's their justification.
However, let's assume she's also telling the truth. That she used the word, she thinks the kid was acting like one. She feels like she has the right to use that word against that small baby because of whatever age-appropriate thing the kid did. If she's telling the truth and she's getting doxxed and harassed, I don't know if I want to reward her behavior with $500,000. I don't think she should be doxxed. I don't think she should be harassed. I think she has been mistreated to the extent that no one should be. You have a right to be racist. You have a right to free speech in this country. But I'm not donating money for it, and I feel a lot worse about her GoFundMe than the one for the person who's been railroaded.
Yeah, well, Lily Gaddis, you posted a defense of...
Wait, Mortal Coil, who is representing us? Them two? The Arab and Mark Lamont Hill of the Green Party? They don't represent us. I need y'all to... You could just ask us. Thank you so much.
Shiloh on X has been viewed 2.5 million times, in which it was entitled "White People Are Finally Fighting Back. Stand with Shiloh Hendricks." What did you mean by that? Tax day has passed, but for millions of Americans...
Oh, hell no. I don't care about your ads.
The IRS.
Here's the thing. White people have been under attack for years. It's been
Oh, God. Here we go. Now I'm about to get a little real. Yeah.
systematic racism. As much as black people and people of color want to talk about systematic racism in the United States, it's quite the opposite. They get preferential treatment when it comes to getting a job, when it comes to getting into colleges. White people, on the other hand, have...
Excuse me? Oh, Lily, we're going to disprove that right now because white women got preferential treatment when they got jobs and they go to college. What are you talking about? Y'all are considered a triple minority. Oops, she didn't even talk for 20 seconds and we already debunked her. Continue.
I've been getting attacked relentlessly. Look at 2016 and BLM and all the riots. We just had to sit back and watch people burn down our cities and do nothing about it.
Our cities, even though white people were out there burning them cities down too, but no cities were burning in 2016, but got it. Lily, when you were unknown in 2016, why didn't you say any of this on like Facebook or early YouTube or anything like that? Why didn't you call out white people that were doing that? Because as you said, when you first came on the scene, you used to be a leftist. Cities burning down. You saw a couple targets. You saw a police station and you thought that was the city. Where were we? In Sparta, Mississippi? I didn't even realize New York burned down. Chicago must have burnt down a second time and they resaw it, apparently. All right, go ahead.
So the way to fight back against essentially this anti-white hatred that's been systemically, ingrained in U.S. society.
That quick. I didn't see this. I didn't see white.
We don't see white unity on.
Hang on. Okay, back up.
White unity. You hear this? White unity, really? Ma'am, how'd that white unity work in 2020 when them white people watch everybody take, and I mean everybody, them corporations take everybody's money? That wasn't white unity? MAGA isn't white unity? And before y'all tell me that MAGA is multicultural, I don't want to hear that. So save that comment. Because we saw how y'all act with non-white MAGA people. We've already seen it. Now she's saying there wasn't any white unity. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, just to be clear, this has got nothing to do with anything you just said. This is a disgusting racist woman who repeatedly spews the N-word, first at a young child, and then at the person taking the video of her, does it with complete impunity, does it numerous times. We're talking about a bona fide, unquestionable racist. And so I don't understand why what you've just said to me bears any relation to white unity or anything you've just said. She's just a racist. Isn't she? You wouldn't dispute that.
It's not about her. It's not about her. It's about
Well, it's about her.
coming together and supporting another white person, and it doesn't matter.
There it is. She said it. She said it. Say it again, Lily. You know, you look like Dolph Lundgren. Say it again.
Anything you just said. She's just a racist. Isn't she? You wouldn't dispute
Well,
that.
it's not about her. It's not about her. It's about
Well, it's about her.
coming together and supporting another white person, and it doesn't matter.
Why would you want to support?
It's about white people coming together to support another white person. But y'all got upset, allegedly thinking that it was only black people giving Carmelo Anthony money. Y'all got upset at that. Wouldn't that be considered black unity? Oh, black unity is wrong. That's right. Can't have black unity. That's dangerous. White unity is us saying that no more, we're not going to be oppressed. Why y'all acting like victims? This is nasty. Sir, Sweet Blondie, sir, my mother is 60 years old. And she looks incredible for 60. That melanin is a beautiful thing. Lily looks like Dolph Lundgren in Rocky IV. If you give her a short haircut, that's Ivan Drago. I am not even saying she looked like Bridget Nielsen if she had a short haircut. She looks like Ivan Drago. And you should be happy that I said that because she killed Apollo Creed. Now cut it out. She takes after her father. There's nothing wrong with that. Thank you so much.
Support a white racist.
Because I want to support free speech, and you cannot have free speech in the country.
Yeah, that's fine. You can support free speech, but you also have to be accountable for what
You hear her? She said she wants to support white unity because she wants to support freedom of speech. You don't have to be unified with white people to support free speech. Okay, go ahead.
you say. She is. I mean, would you use the N-word out of interest?
I do, quite frankly.
You use the N-word quite frequently. Well, why? Other than the fact
Sweet
you're
Blondie,
racist.
you would be shocked at
Some
the
would say
beauty that I
yes,
walk
support
around
the
with.
ADL. I'm a white supremacist. I'm a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, but if you use the N-word,
You the one that said it. She said that people call her white supremacists and neo-Nazi. She fucking said it in her own videos. But okay.
repeatedly, you are a racist, then, are you?
Sure, I'll embrace that. If that means forwarding, helping white people achieve freedom of speech, real freedom of speech, which, by the way,
What? Y'all act like freedom of speech.
Legal charges against her. They're trying to get her children taken away. So you were saying Carmelo Anthony, it doesn't matter. That's a different.
But if you saw a black mother doing something bad to their kids, you would ask for them to take the children out the home. She's an unfit mother. Fam, they're literally celebrating right now. Trump talking about he gonna take away Section 8. Should we have to pull up them stats again? Because I know they love to think that it's black people overwhelmingly on Section 8 when it's actually white people. But if y'all want to go down that road, that's cool. We could do that.
Be clear, you just said to me you use the N-word regularly. In what context? Do you use it with black people?
Yes, if it's appropriate.
When would it be appropriate?
I gotta give it to her, the griff.
Anytime I feel like it.
I gotta give it to her. She's committed to the griff.
Correct.
Well, do you understand that makes
By the way, Lily, since you want to play that game, you live in Georgia. Come up to Atlanta and say that. Go on Peachtree Street around the own black people and say the N-word. Go ahead. I'm curious to see what happened. If you run to the north on Peachtree, you'll hit Buckhead. You'll be around white people. So you might have about a 2-mile stretch. I think you should go to Peachtree and 10. And you're going to have a whole bunch of black people coming out of that MARTA station. Go say the N-word to them. I'm trying to see something.
you're a despicable human being.
I guess so. I don't really care. I mean, why are we not talking about Shiloh Hendricks? Why are we talking about?
Well, actually, I think you've moved it on.
You moved it.
To your own racism, which explains.
You moved it. You want to be the main character. Go ahead.
You see no problem with a woman shrieking the N-word repeatedly because you yourself are a despicable racist, and you've just proudly admitted that with a smug grin on your face, which is pretty horrifying, actually, for most people to have to watch. And shame on you. You're entitled to do it, and I'm entitled to call you despicable.
Well, shame on white people for allowing themselves to be systematically discriminated against in the United States. This is our country. This is a country that should.
Who's? Okay, listen here, baby Ann Coulter. You don't have that heart. I can already see it. When they went after your child, you damn near was in tears. And you was defending the fact that your child is biracial. You don't have a heart to go play with people in this realm that you think you're going to go play with them in. I still have the live up where we heard you in that Twitter space and them white boys were giving you the business. So please, don't. You tough talking because you in front of Piers Morgan and Mark Lamont Hill and Amro Foodle and this chick over here who looked like an SNL character. Don't do this.
Do you mean your country?
Because I'm white and my
Well, there are no black
ancestors.
people in American history. Is that what you're saying? That they've all just landed in America, invading you,
Yes.
your white country?
Well, I mean, they were brought here technically.
I
We
got
did.
Madam, you yourself admitted that your people are immigrants. You're not even a daughter of the Confederacy. Oops.
Do you understand how dumb you sound?
This is stupid. This is stupid and racist, and at some point we have to ask ourselves, do we want to reward this kind of disgusting behavior?
There go Mark Lamont Hill. There he
I
go.
didn't know she was going to say that. I don't disagree with you.
No, yeah, I'm with you. I don't think you knew ahead of time. I'm saying at this moment, someone who's saying technically black people were, no, technically Africans were stolen, enslaved, and they built this country. And the idea that you can justify calling a baby the N-word by saying that
My people that are black American from the soil, let that pass. Let it pass. I know. Let it pass. Let's keep it on what they talking about. Mark Lamont Hill going somewhere else with it. Just let him have it. Just let him have it. Please, respect me enough. Let's let him have it because it's finna get fun. Let's go.
people are losing the country is absurd. It's morally bankrupt, and it's honestly besides.
Leave the kids alone. If we ran, how come he's still there?
And even animalizing a small black child, it's disgusting.
What is it?
Yeah,
I
I
find
never
it.
said that. I never said that.
No, but you may as well have done because you're just a. Let me bring in Myron Gaines because you've been smirking.
His name is Amro
What's
Foodle.
funny about any of this?
Well, I mean, I find it interesting that you guys want to virtue signal and, wag the finger and say she's a racist and everything else like this.
No,
I
she
find it
thinks she's a racist.
Well, let me
I'm not
finish my
wagging a
point.
finger at anybody.
You
I don't need to
self-identify
wag.
as racist.
Myron, with respect, Myron, I don't need to
Because-
wag a finger when somebody says, "Yeah, I'm racist. I use the N-word against black people." I don't care. That's a racist. I'm not wagging any finger. I'm not accusing anybody. She is admitting it proudly. Even
Here's the
you
thing.
can't defend that, surely.
Everybody is racist to some degree. The reality is, it depends on. A lot of people want to be politically correct. A lot of people want to sit there and say, "I'm not racist at all." We all have biases. We all have stereotypes. We all make jokes. We all are racist to some degree. Now, how racist you are is a whole other situation, but everyone is racist. That's number one. Next thing I want to say, See, I think the Shiloh, Hendricks, and Metcalf situation is a microcosm of a much bigger problem. And that bigger problem is what I call systemic organizing. And what I mean by this is, for decades, we've had black people literally running around with black supremacy, committing crimes, not getting accountability for their actions. And then,
Are you fucking retarded? No accountability? Oh, so we just committing crimes and just getting away with it, right? So all those prison numbers are fake, right? They're faked. Our exoneration numbers are faked, right? Okay. Who? Hey, listen. White folk that like him, y'all didn't teach this man well enough. Yeah, y'all gotta season him again. And he's Sudanese. They know how to season some food. You know, him being a North African and all. What the fuck? Who mans is this?
they blame the system for it. For example,
How the fuck? What? So we're not held accountable, but we're blaming the system for it. Huh? We're not being held accountable and we're blaming the system for it. Even though we're being held accountable, we're still blaming the system because the system is against us. Myron, if the system wasn't against us, how the fuck did they take away your money? Because you said you black. So I get to talk to you like this. Are you telling us right now that you're not held accountable for what you said? You shouldn't be because you're black? And you're going to tell us the system isn't against you, yet they took your money. And you sat there on your live and cried about it and had to walk off to collect your thoughts and redouche. Got it.
George Floyd, criminal. Ferguson, criminals. Freddie Gay, great, criminal. A lot of these people are criminals, and what ends up happening is they challenge a police officer, they get into a physical altercation, things go left, they die, something happens.
He brought up George Floyd. Y'all really need some new talking points. What exactly did George Floyd do that warranted him dying?
Use of force is utilized, and then they want to cry about the result. When in reality, it's not the police killing black people; it's black people killing black people. And if you want to talk about black on white violence, black people kill white people 2 times as much. And on top of that, most of the shootings in America, a lot of the times, are white people killing white cops killing other unarmed white men. So this whole systemic racism or police brutality, or it's also messed up. The reality is this: black people have been able to get away with a ridiculous amount of privilege in America for a very long time.
We got away with a ridiculous amount of privilege. Oh man, this guy, he need to stop streaming for real. He need to go on stage because he's a great comedian. He could be the next up. I don't think they've ever had a Sudanese comedian blow up. He could be the next Cal Penn. I ain't even gonna hold you.
It's called white people crackers without being challenged back. And quite frankly, white Americans have most of it, and the chickens have come to roost. Now, look,
what chickens? It ain't us.
No, but for literally the better part of almost 2 decades since the Obama era, we've had to have BLM and liberalism shoved down our throats, and quite frankly,
oh my God.
But just to be clear,
how did I character attack him if I... Oh, so you were listening to 5 minutes, so you selectively heard what I said. I get it. I get it, femboy. I get it. I character attacked him, even though I sat there and debunked everything he just said, but character attacked. Okay. I'll attack his character some more then, since you seem to not like it.
you would have no problem with one member of this panel openly saying she uses the N-word at black people with impunity and is proud of being a racist. You have no problem with that?
My worldview on the protection of the First Amendment and freedom of speech overrides my personal feelings. She has the right to say...
Oh my God. That's not what he asked you.
About what she said.
Oh
My
God.
feelings are irrelevant. The Constitution is the Constitution. That's what matters.
Jesus fucking Christ. That's not what he asked you. Why do y'all keep bringing up the Constitution? Jesus. Let me help you, Myron. The Constitution don't apply to online. Maybe y'all don't know this because y'all don't study. It doesn't apply here. You're inside of a private business. Well, in this term, you're on Apple. Alphabet. They're a public company. They allow this. But they also have rules. You can only say so much before they say, nah. And you seem to have accepted it because you still stream on YouTube, even though you're not collecting money from it. So it sounds like you abide by their rules, but now you want to talk about free speech and you're about to tell us that you want her to say whatever she wants because it's the First Amendment. I tell you, they dumb.
Oh, that's fascinating. Hold on. So when it comes to chastising Black Americans about their behavior, about calling white people crackers, as you say, about their moral claims, about the racism, you can levy a judgment against Black Americans for all the things they do. But when it comes to this woman saying the N-word, and this other woman endorsing it and saying that she herself uses the N-word, now all of a sudden we can only talk about the Constitution and the legal right. We can't offer any moral judgment against it. That's disingenuous. And it's, as the only Black American up here, that's quite frustrating to hear.
If you want to be soft and get offended by that, that's your fucking problem, not mine.
Dude, we seen you get soft in them X spaces when them white boys press you. We saw you get soft when your monetization got taken. As you said, you reacted over words. Then you wanted to play victim because you said, oh, look, I said this, and then Black people want to come fight me and come delete me. Oh, by the way, when you said words, you and your partner said words to two certain YouTubers, and one of them wanted to come see you and was booking the flight, did you or did you not go and film yourselves going to a pawn shop buying a gun? Or you're going to act like that never happened because y'all deleted the video? So you was ready to kill over some words. Interesting. Oh, right. You're in Florida. You're going to say stand your ground, right? Okay. Go ahead. Keep going.
Let me also Ricky. This isn't about being soft any more than when you were desperately saving these white people.
Hold on. The sensitive nature that you have is precisely why we have this problem.
It's not about being sensitive. It's about I didn't articulate. Hold on. Let me finish. Byron, let me speak and then I'll let you respond. Myron, I didn't articulate any sensitivity here. What I said, in the same way that you levied a judgment against Black people, I'm levying one against the claims you're making.
Hey, femboy, if I'm providing nothing, you can leave. You can just swipe up. There's another live. It's probably somebody talking about something that's more your speed, like Roblox.
Exhausting days, you might want to try Bean's Dream Powder. Bean is proudly founded in America.
I don't give a fuck.
Making sure that we are politically correct and don't use certain arguments to respond to that is this. Political correctness, liberalism, and making sure that we are politically correct and don't use certain words to offend people is precisely part of the situation that we're in. For decades, we've had to literally tiptoe around saying certain things around certain people, while the other group of people has been able to have impunity and be able to be as racist as they want to be, as violent as they want to be, without any type of consequence. And if you call
Are you talking about white people?
out, you're labeled a racist. The reality is this. Black people don't want to live around Black people. I don't want to live around a bunch of Black people. I move to neighborhoods where it's majority white because I know I'm safe. Now, this uncomfortable reality that no one wants to say.
Hodge twins already disproved that they got robbed in their all-white neighborhood. He pressed because his boyfriend can't come over. He got to go to work, so he can't get in his ass. Pause. That's why he pressed. But we going to help him. We going to help him go look for something. Hey, go look for somebody. You heard me? All right. We going to help you. Wait a minute. Torian, I told you they love being French. I told you this. He Black today. He can't be white with them three white people on the panel, and he can't wear the KKK outfit. So he has to play black today.
So I'll say it for them. Black people commit a lot of crimes. The majority of the violent crime committed in the United States is committed by a small percentage of people, and they tend to be black men. Look, the reality is the reality. People don't want to say it, but the political correctness and being nice and not wanting to tell the truth is precisely this problem. And the reason why you're seeing all the support for Metcalf and Shiloh, etc., is because white people have not been able to step up and say what they want to say for a very long time because of what?
Are you is he insane? When have white people never been able to say what they want to say? Y'all were praising Gavin McGinnis during the first Trump administration because he got to say what he said, and he Canadian. Y'all brought Steven Crowder to prominence. You brought Matt Walsh, old dusty ass, to prominence. You brought Michael Knowles to prominence. Ben Shapiro. Should we keep going? Jordan Peterson. Should we keep going? Name off all these white people that y'all brought to prominence, and they said whatever the hell they wanted to say. Y'all are on your knees right now for Scott Jennings because he gets to say what he says on CNN. Jesus Christ. Now all of a sudden white people never got to say what they wanted to say for a very long time. Yet they do it every day. Jesus.
What I said before, systemic organized, where they don't take accountability for those.
All right, let me bring in Ricky to respond. Ricky.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to say that I agree that virtue signaling went too far, that political correctness went too far, but we're going from virtue signaling being the norm and being praised to now vice signaling being the norm and being praised. It's not just a matter of does this woman have the right to use that word. I believe that she has the right. I disagree with it. But is she now being rewarded with $500,000? Why are we rewarding people for performing vice instead of virtue? This is not healthy. This is destructive to our society. This is destructive to our social fabric, to our culture.
How am I mad because they're right? They're literally not right. Tell me, fine. Tell me the date when white people weren't allowed to say what they wanted to say. Go ahead, tell me.
To our ability to live with other fellow Americans, it's...
What? Black neighborhoods are the worst? Then why do white people move to black neighborhoods? Explain that to me, if they're the worst. Oh, white neighborhoods, there's nothing wrong with them, right? Nothing. Okay, let's play that game then. No, put them back. Don't delete them. Kyle, let's play that game. If white neighborhoods are 100% better, then answer me this. Why do y'all have some of the highest rates of fentanyl abuse in your white neighborhoods if they're so much better? Why y'all having cocaine parties in your white neighborhoods if it's so much better? Why when these TV and media companies do shows, they put white neighborhoods all predominant, but them white citizens and white occupants are so fucked up, but they're so much better, right? White neighborhoods are so much better that white people left those great white neighborhoods in New York City to go move in Harlem. They went and left their nice white enclaves to go move to Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, Jamaica, Queens, Far Rockaway. Should I keep going? Brentwood, Long Island. Hempstead. They're starting to gentrify Hempstead now. Hempstead is nothing but black and Hispanics. They're starting to gentrify Houston's black areas. Down here in Atlanta, they're trying to gentrify Bankhead. That's a black neighborhood. Virginia Highlands. Decatur, Eastlake. Should I keep going? Compton, Inglewood. But your white neighborhoods are so great. You see one black family, y'all play white flight. They start gentrifying black neighborhoods, them Amtrak trains rolling in, ain't they family? But your white neighborhoods are so great.
Gross to reward someone for bad behavior. It's one thing to tolerate it, to say that she has the right to do it, but she called an autistic 5-year-old the N-word. Like, I'm sorry, but...
Ryan, I literally just made sense. But since you can't follow it because you're stuck in your quote-unquote mind phase or whatever the fuck you got going on because you saw your boyfriend Amru on here and you just love the fact that he's on there right now. You can't wait for 7 o'clock tonight when he streams. We gonna help you. And the fact that you just asked me what happened to Compton, you need to go research. So we're gonna let you leave. We don't want to interrupt your research purposes. Go look up what happened to Compton.
I feel like we're kind of like missing the point in the actual
And
conversation.
Inglewood.
It's part of this bigger meta story of black and white America, but it actually is just like a short little clip, and you don't even know the context of it, and it's actually gross. And if we can't just say that it's gross and bad, then I don't really know where we are.
Well, I think it's interesting to me that Lily Gaddis, you retweeted Nick Fuentes, the white supremacist, by saying...
Thank you, Stephen. I forgot about Detroit.
$500,000 for a cold-blooded killer who stabbed a white teenager.
How did black people ruin Compton, you retard?
The Shiloh Hendricks fundraiser. Either everyone gets to be tribal or nobody does. Why would you retweet that?
Because I agree with it. We have to fight fire with fire. I mean, at some point, why are Jewish people allowed to be tribal? Why are black people allowed to be tribal? But as soon as white people stand up for themselves, we're labeled a racist. And by the way,
what the fuck are you talking about? You can be tribal all you want. Is she serious? She's not serious. She's playing. I know she's playing. She grifting. I forgot.
you call people racist.
I forgot.
When you want them to stop
grifting.
talking about
No, I called you a racist because you admitted you were a racist. Hang on. I called, just to be clear, I called you a racist because you openly, proudly admitted you're a racist. So it wasn't a question of exposing you or pointing my finger or trying to get this out of you. You proudly sat there, bold as brass, and said, yeah, I use the N-word.
Hey, pothead, you need to put down the weed. Because if you think we have black fatigue, you think America has black fatigue? All right. It has such black fatigue that you had an independent movie called Sinners that got major distribution, get $250 million. That everybody went to go see and then made comments. But we have such black fatigue, right? It's so bad with this black fatigue family that, remember when I told y'all during the election cycle that if MAGA won, them folk ain't gonna want to hear about black people no more? And what happened? They started trying to bring up black people and things, and them folk were like, no. We're keeping it on this issue. Do not make it about black people. Case in point, what happened with the H-1Bs? When Vivek Ramaswamy tried to make it about black people, them folk got on him for that. Shout out to Brother Torian. He alerted me, even though I saw it, but he alerted me to something else. When Lauren Whitsick, that meth head, started talking about black people in regards to this situation and started putting up videos of black people in bad situations, even her own crowd of white folk were like, listen, you're doing too much right now. So go ahead and tell me that we have black fatigue. I'm glad y'all are tired of us. Leave us the fuck alone. Then you won't have fatigue. You'll go back to being 99s with the Gatorade symbol.
But all the time against black people, I'm a racist and I'm proud of it. That's what you did.
Racism is just having a preference. I prefer not to live around black people. I prefer not to live in a country.
But you live in Metro Atlanta. Jesus Christ. She lives, for those who don't know, she lives in Metro Atlanta. But she says she don't want to live around black people. She literally lives in a neighborhood with black people.
Where white people in our country are disproportionately attacked by black people. Where in my country, you can have an Austin Metcalf where he asks a guy to leave and he gets stabbed in the heart. I prefer...
No, that's not what happened, lady. He got physical with the boy. How many times? Even your own crowd on that side said the same thing. And who is he to tell him to leave? He's not an adult. Let's go. Come on.
That's a preference. Now, what a real racist is, in my opinion, is seeing someone as less human. I'm a Christian. I believe everyone's created in God's image, so I don't see anyone as less human. But that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to have a preference and say, I don't like what happens to be coming out of this community or that community. How is that a bad thing? How is that not just a preference? Because
you've literally made black people sound lesser humans. You don't want to live around them. You want to use the N-word in relation to them, a word that you know causes that community unbelievable offense.
Is that my fault? If they have bad behavior, if they want to if I have to cross off the street and be afraid that maybe because of the crime statistics that are very real, by the way, is that my fault or is that their fault?
Oh my God. So now we're going to the crime statistics. Crossing the street. I got to clutch my bag. Ma'am, the person that's going to do you the most harm is another white person, not us. Even if you want to bring out the black on white crime crime is even higher. In your neighborhood, you might have somebody in there that's probably down on their luck and they going to want to see you. They might want to rip off your car. But, okay.
Fault for having bad behavior.
That's mind-boggling to me for multiple reasons. I mean, we're talking about bad behavior. You know, we've never lynched you, we've never enslaved you, we've never done any of the deep-seated structural forms of injustice to white people.
Oh my Lord, he brought up 1350. Damn, y'all are dumb. So the babies are committing. So right out the womb, they're committing crime. Y'all are the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. Man, W got to pay for these crimes, boy. By the way, since we're going to play that game, then fine. White people are 60% of the population, and they commit 50% of the crime. Might as well just start saying that. Let's just start saying that, family. Little Hubert that came out of that came out of his mama's vagina the second day after getting off the nipple, committed a crime in the hospital.
That white people have done to black people, and yet to claim some kind of moral superiority. In the context of a conversation where a white woman is calling a 5-year-old autistic child the N-word,
my
and
God.
black people's bad behavior, this is absurd. And the idea of
That if it's worse, it's not 13 now, is it? Dumbass.
The people who are supporting Carmelo Anthony's campaign believe that he was wrongfully charged and they're trying to get him legal defense. The people who are defending this
God.
yes, we know you called the 5-year-old autistic black child the N-word.
And then it's funny because the stats are out there and they're not even 50%, but let them tell it. Let them tell it, but go ahead.
We want more of it. We approve.
Come into the real world.
Not the same thing. And it's
No, y'all can't read because the stats are actually updated, but I know y'all can't read. I know them numbers hurt you. I know sitting in the house in 2020 fucked your brain up. I know. I get it. That ain't my fault. I didn't tell y'all to sit down. And Mark Lamont Hill, that is a wild, that's a wild pause right there, sir.
to me that we couldn't all stand and say, hey, it is wrong to call a 5-year-old autistic black child.
Actually, it's not funny to look at Africa. Africa right now is starting to stand up. It's going to be real funny in a couple of years when Africa, y'all white people start running over to Africa.
The N-word. I mean, Mike, let me just ask you that question. I think this is
Yes, my brain is fucked up. You're right, because I'm black. Says the pothead. Says the pothead. Not the fact that you smoke weed, is you put actual pots on your head. You.
That's no question.
Oh, boy.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you think the woman was wrong to do what she did to that child in that park?
I don't approve of that, but what I will say is that it's very important to understand the entire context of what led us to this position, because again, Metcalf and Hendricks is a microcosm of a much larger problem. Earlier, we were talking about tribalism when you were mentioning Nick Fuentes' tweet. Here's the thing. Black people can be as tribal as they want to be. You have people like Tariq Nasheed, Dr. Umar Johnson running around about black power and marry black women and keep it in the hood and all this other stuff. But if white people assemble and say, you know what, white power, we need to keep our nation white, they're immediately ostracized and labeled as...
They're literally saying that nobody bats an eye. Shut up. You see how he lies? We've seen those tweets. We've seen those videos. We got to get the white birth rate up. Your president is saying get the white birth rate up. He wants to incentivize white families to have more children by giving them $5,000. So please, continue, Myron. Sorry, Amru. Continue.
supremacists, and they get banned off every single platform. I find that interesting. And matter of fact, you
Is that the same thing?
No, actually, that's the same thing, because here's the problem with black people.
No, it's not.
Hold on, let me finish this. Black people practice the very racism they cry about. You guys can gather together and say Black Lives Matter, Black Power, but if white people get together and say white power, gather together,
They're motherfucking saying that right now, white power. And nobody cares. Jesus Christ. Maybe y'all need to get back to white power and stop talking about them Jews every day. Look, now they're going to up it to 55% now.
White supremacists.
Come on, why don't y'all just go to 70? Come on now. Go high. Let's go. Go higher, go higher.
But black people are allowed to stand on every single platform getting interviewed. Explain that to me. There's a two-tier situation here.
And there it is. He just said it. They don't care about saving the country. They just want to be celebrities. He's upset that Umar got on the Breakfast Club. He's secretly upset at Candace for getting on the Breakfast Club. Sir, if you put out good content, maybe the Breakfast Club calls you. Maybe they call you. I don't get it. Jesus. That is wild right there.
Black people able to benefit off of being racist, while whites are not. And what we're dealing with right now in America,
he said 94% can't read.
Black supremacy has been able to turn around unchecked for a long time, and no one has the balls to call it out.
So you must be that white person in your stats that can't figure out how to put punctuation marks. So we're gonna help you. We really gonna help you right now, because I can't read shit with people that can't fucking put correct punctuations like periods and commas.
Here's the other thing I want to say. Everyone's flipping out over Shiloh Hendricks and saying the N-word. Can I repeat the point you just made, though? Hold on. Nobody flipped out like this when the United States was getting destroyed in 2020 because of black protests destroying every liberal city in America. So I don't want to hear about, she made $500,000 to say the N-word. Who cares? They destroyed billions of dollars of structure because someone got killed.
No, they didn't. No, we didn't. And I tell you that 2020 rotted their brains sitting inside. Y'all should have been outside in parks. We didn't destroy billions of dollars of property. He really thinks it was just black people outside. I was literally on the street the one night they were out there in downtown Brooklyn. There was plenty of white people and Hispanics out there. But all right, it was just black people out there. Okay, you got it.
Who was a criminal? That's the problem in America. You guys get a privilege that no
Why do you want to see my apartment, sir?
Okay. And
all right,
I don't get it.
I'm gonna hold it there.
Hold on, Adrian. Why do you want to see my apartment? Is this something you aspire to do? I understand you're sitting in McDonald's right now in front of a McGriddle with no egg because you couldn't afford it, and you had to go get the water because you couldn't afford the $1 coffee. Why do you want to see my apartment? It's a 2-bedroom apartment. Yes. Is it big? No. I'm cool with it. The heat is on whenever I want. The water works. The bills are paid. The electric is great. Wi-Fi works. Why you want to see where I live? Are you trying to dox me, sir? Are you trying to come see another man? I don't know why you're asking that. You couldn't even get the hash brown, my nigga. You couldn't even afford the meal with the hash brown. And you want to worry about where I'm looking at. Jesus.
Joining us. Mark, I'll come back to you to respond to that in a moment. We're being joined now by Jacob Wells. He's a Christian founder of the Give, Send, Go donation.
Oh, shit. It's about to get live.
Thank you very much indeed for joining me, Mr. Wells. First of all, your reaction to what seems to me to be a blatant hijacking of these fundraising host sites for different reasons, but definitely being hijacked by people for racist motivation.
No, I think that's completely correct, Piers. I do think that there was an element here that did hijack, that came at this and really became a racist, tribalist element.
From my dialect, I must be on government assistance. Yet you're watching me. When you should be at work. I know the unemployment office is open. I'm actually about to head over there now. I expect to see you online with me. We can have this conversation online. I know it's a little loud in the office, but we can have this conversation. I'll even let you go in front of me.
The two campaigns, independently of themselves, I think that they would have existed on our platform in a whole different manner, but because of the narratives around them and the proximity to each other, they created a life of their own, and it is unfortunate, sad to see, because as a Christian myself, what I respect about humanity.
Adrian, now you're black. Let me help you out because I know you're lying. Don't you have to tell Rocky that he can't win against Drago? Didn't you just have his kid? You should be telling him that to go out and try to beat Apollo Creed. Should you be meeting Rocky at the ice rink right now and learn how to skate? And then when you get home, your brother, Paulie, tells you that you let Rocky smash it? Huh? Yeah, go get that done. And then you got to go pick out butt kiss for him. Come on now. Go get that done. The pet shop is about to open. Let's go.
And the image of God on us. I believe that we're all valuable. I believe that people have dignity and worth.
He said he worked from home, but he watching me. He better not put on that Zoom mirror. I swear to God, they're going to get upset at him.
And it's been.
Then he going to blame a black man for losing his job.
Several weeks of just navigating the complexity of these situations as a platform.
Another fucking ad.
This is a woman on camera repeatedly using the N-word. First of all, with a 5-year-old autistic child, it seems. Then an adult who's filming her doesn't care, is blatantly racist. Why should someone like that be allowed to raise any money on your site if, as you say, you are driven by a Christian purpose?
Well, that's a fascinating question. I would almost flip it around. It's like if we tried to create litmus tests for everybody to come onto a platform to use it, I pretty much could guarantee nobody would pass the litmus test, because the reality of humanity is that we're broken. This is the whole principle of Jesus in the first place, is that we needed a savior.
Okay, if you're black, go to work. Hey, Cole, if you're black, go to work. You're going to have a bunch of white people in here saying, why you not at work? Why you watching somebody on YouTube that's making no money? You're feeding the stereotype, you fool.
Hang on, just to be clear, so that's interesting what you just said. So you would let anybody onto your platform to raise money for anything? Is that your position?
No, the position is that there are.
You sure your last name ain't Brown?
And we adhere to the laws as the framework for what is and isn't allowed.
And inciting racial hatred is a crime.
He said I don't make money. He right. Hey.
Inciting racial hatred.
He said I don't make money. He's right. I'm only gonna get the little bit of money that YouTube gonna give me off of this. I mean, that's all good. I'm good with it.
Is a crime?
Yeah.
Where?
You don't think it's a crime?
In the U.S.?
Yeah, it is.
I want to thank you, Cole, for giving me money, by the way. You fool. Thank you for being in this live. YouTube saw that, and the bot said, oh, he got more people in there. We'll up it a little bit more. Thank you.
I've never seen that as a law on the books, but
it is.
That was
It
part of
is.
the reason.
I'm not even American, and I know it's a law on the books. You're not allowed to incite racial hatred or violence against ethnic groups based on their ethnicity. What could be a more glaring example of
violence and hatred,
calling black people the N-word?
Violence and words.
Grow, thank you for the $2. That's a blessing.
In America, they are very clearly different things. I don't know of any law. I'd be happy for you to inform me with what that law is, because I don't know everything. I'm happy to admit that. But as has already been mentioned on the show earlier, there are needs that exist outside of the reality of that moment for child.
We don't have 7-Elevens in Atlanta. I'll go to Racetrack though. Thank you.
Well, I don't condone the behavior. Obviously, we didn't see the actual behavior that was accused in the moment. What we saw was the aftermath of a kind of baited moment. And
she carries on using the N-word to a black person with impunity. That's a racist.
Yeah, well, she might have some racial elements. I don't know. I don't know Shiloh
Some
personally.
racial elements. She uses the N-word repeatedly to a black man, and she doesn't deny having just used it to a 5-year-old black child. I'm not sure what.
Hey, Barshank, I actually missed Speedway when I was living in New York. I like Speedway. They said there's some speedways here in Georgia. They way south. I'm good with that. We go to Buc-ee's. You heard what I said.
More evidence you need that this person's a racist. My question for you is simply, where is that line for you? You say it's the law. But if somebody's literally raising hundreds of thousands of dollars to support them because they were blatantly racist.
He said I buy a what the fuck? Hold on. What is this hostess apple pie he speaks of? I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? Are you trying to tell us that's all you can afford on your Zoom salary? I don't know what that means. Sir, I can go in there and go buy an actual meal and 15 drinks. Tell me what corner you are. I'll drop one off at there. I'll do it for you. Oh, no. Tell me the library you're at using a Wi-Fi so you can go to work. Let me know.
Or the Christian ethos of what your site's supposed to be about.
Well, it fits actually very well because we can, like I started to say, we don't operate on a litmus test of your
What is a litmus test?
as far as the services that you get to provide. The moment that you start walking down the narrative that we're not going to provide you electricity, water, because we don't like you, the structural elements, the movement of money, which is a basic element to society.
So let me just ask you this. So if someone was being blatantly anti-Semitic, for example, would you allow them to raise money on your platform to defend themselves over their anti-Semitism?
We sit in a very interesting position as a platform in trying to navigate the complexities of these issues.
So what's the answer, though?
You can say things. Well, I'll say historically, we've stood on that principle of saying...
That's a good idea about that Arizona iced tea one time.
We've allowed things that we completely disagree
with. That's a good idea.
To do pro-abortion, to allow pro-abortion fundraising.
Actually, there's two caveats to what Give, Send, Go has carved out, and one of them is it's broken into two pieces, but it's the protection of children. So we say we're going to protect children because they don't have a voice. So we're not going to allow fundraising for abortions on Give, Send, Go, and we're not going to allow fundraising for the transition of children.
Okay, but what about a 5-year-old child being? What about a 5-year-old black child being called N-word?
What about that?
Oh Jesus! He said, "What about that?" What?
Well, that's their parents' responsibility. That's like if my child, and I have several children, if my child was called something bad, I would take my child aside and I would tell them.
You just said that one of the caveats.
Wait.
Is the protection of children. We talked about the transitioning process. We talked about abortion, which is obviously your Christian perspective on that. And I'm simply saying, why doesn't it include children being racially abused? Why is that something that
Cole, how did I fumble the stats on the Fed when they just updated it for 2023? How did I fumble it? Nigga, ain't you at work? Why? I tell you they dumb. I fumbled stats from 2023 when y'all are still living in 2019. You got it.
Parents' responsibility, not yours as a platform.
No, because there are campaigns that exist on Give, Send, Go.
Let me just spell it out to you. The way things are going, you're going to make a millionaire out of a woman who racially abused a child. And if your caveats are
that's incorrect.
Well, hang on, you are.
No, I'm not. Because one, we're a platform. We don't make donations to these campaigns.
Pissy Joe, correct. And when you say it, be prepared to deal with the consequences. Either you're going to walk away or you're going to have to stand on it. Just like if you say the K word in front of them Jews, you can either walk away or you're going to have to stand on it. It is what it is.
These are individuals that are making donations.
This person will become a millionaire because of your platform.
No, it's not because of our platform. They could send checks and they could send money a million different ways to individuals.
Your platform.
Avenues.
And you've already said to me you carve out things because you want to protect children. I'm just curious, why is racially abusing a child not one of your carve-outs?
Cole, nobody said anything about running a t-shirt business. Okay. You're telling us a lot right now. Okay. Oh, Adrian, by the way, maybe you don't know how this country operated, but yeah, people back in the day got sent to jail for saying words. Maybe you didn't know that. History, there's history books. You could go read it. Thank you so much.
Well, what the campaign is fundraising for. So we have to make a distinction between what happens on Give, Send, Go and then what happens outside of Give, Send, Go. Because we can't police everything that happens outside of Give, Send, Go. All that we can police is what happens on Give, Send, Go. So the two instances that I gave were about campaigns that if they were created on Give, Send, Go, that we would, for those scenarios, we would prevent. But things that happen outside of Give, Send, Go, we can't police around. So does someone have the right to raise funds for their security, for their protection, because they've been doxxed, because of a snapshot moment, because everyone has a camera in their pocket?
The funny thing is he wasn't talking like this when he was in that space talking about Carmelo Anthony. He wasn't talking like this. It sounds like he's defending what that woman said because it happened after the fact that they put something up for it. But it's okay. We get it. We get it. This is a white woman. You got to protect her. I get it. You should have brought your partner in. You should have brought the chick on with you. Because when you two were in that space, y'all were not talking like this. That is Jacob Wells. Yes, it is. Georgiana, prayers to your family for losing your husband. You always got to commit back to what it is. See, Lily, this is white unity you're seeing right here. Jacob Wells is on your side, baby. We'll see. That's not what he said, Star Watch. That's not what he said. Jesus. Nasty. Okay. True teller is actually a privilege, not a right. If it was a right, why are they trying to take it away from you? Nothing. Y'all gonna tell me freedom of speech is a human right now? That's the next thing y'all gonna tell me? Okay. Okay. No, Stephen. No, they want you to think that. They want you to think there should be no consequences. They think freedom of speech was free. You should just get it, an alienable right. It's a privilege, not a human right, because if it's a human right, every country in the world would have freedom of speech, and they don't. So it's not a right, it's a privilege. But, they told you it was a right. But again, like I said, they gave you these rights, and then they actively go against them. So is it really a right, or is it somebody that gave you a privilege to exercise it? It's not a right because it would be in the Bill of Rights, right? It's not a right. But y'all will figure that out one day. Y'all will figure that out. That's not what Piers said. Phil Bright, that's not what Piers said. And I don't fuck with Piers, but that's not what he said. It's not a right. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. Y'all got a lot to learn about this country, but that's okay.
And today, we can see the outworking of this. 3 years ago in New York City, in the middle of the city, there was an altercation between a woman and a black man over bird watching.
Sir, this is not about me being funny. This is about me being correct. Y'all need to up your thinking. That's why y'all get caught. Every time some situation happens, y'all get caught. You don't understand what this country is, what it really is. Just like y'all still think it's a democracy and it's an actual republic. But that's okay. If your freedom of speech is such a right, why are they trying to take it from you? Answer me that. Because this is what these people have been arguing for the last 30 minutes. Their rights are trying to be taken away from them. So is it really a right or is it a privilege? Yes, anybody can say the word and anybody can get consequences, and y'all sitting there arguing over the consequences. So again, I ask, is it a right or is it a privilege? Is it a right to live in this country, or is it a privilege to live in this country? That's for you, Adrian. Since you wanna have, dude, I don't care if you say the N-word in here. I could give a shit. Now answer my question. Is it a right or a privilege to live in this country? That's not what I asked you. I'm gonna ask you again. Is it a right or a privilege to live in this country? You bet, Steven, you better learn the difference between a republic and a democracy, because it's not the same. Thank you so much. Oh, it's your right. You were born here with the 14th Amendment. Ah, okay. Yet they're trying to take away your 14th Amendment right. So is it really a right? Others, it's a privilege. So when that automatically assume that living in this country is a privilege. Because they don't have to have you in here. You could be born here under the 14th and they still kick you out. The fact that y'all don't think that your Constitution is a document on privilege, I don't know what the hell they taught y'all in school and what kind of post-secondary education y'all did on your own. Because the fact that y'all don't understand what this country is shocking to me, and y'all are in here defending it hard body. That's crazy. You watch how many administrations fuck with your rights, but you still think they're rights. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm giving it to y'all. After this live is over, go take about 10 minutes and go learn about these privileges and these rights you think you have. And you figure out which one it is. Because it's not a right. Adrian, most white people in this chat don't hate the government. I can tell you that right now. No, they don't. I can say that with certainty. They don't hate the government. Y'all really think Piers Morgan, a man from England, understands why? You really want him to understand why white people in America should be able to say the N-word? A man from England. I'm really arguing with people right now who are telling me that living in this country is a right, not a privilege, but y'all are not. If it's such a right, why are y'all allowing motherfuckers to be deported that apparently fit all the criteria to be under this right? And I'm not talking about the illegals. I'm talking about them getting rid of people that have citizenship here. If it's such a right. But y'all got it. Adrian, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But okay. Now you're crashing out. Take a deep breath. It's only a Wednesday. Go out and hunt something. I'm not getting right and privilege twisted. You better look up. Okay, I'm getting it twisted. Okay. Since we got to do this before I go. Okay. Rights are entitlements that individuals have by virtue of being human, such as freedom of speech and the right to vote, which cannot legally be denied. Privileges, on the other hand, special advantages granted by authority or circumstance that can be revoked, like a driver's license. You're literally watching them try to revoke freedom of speech right now. You literally watched them for years revoke Second Amendment. And y'all are really about to tell us that these rights that you got in the Constitution You're about to tell us that they're not privileges. That's really what y'all about to do. Y'all watch them take your Fourth Amendment rights and do shit with it. You really watch this. You're literally watching them trample over the 13th, 14th, and 15th right now. They're attempting to do that. You watch them push, never mind. Y'all watch them push the 25th right now. And you watch them do it with the previous administration, but you still think that this is all right. Okay. Very good. I hope y'all have that same energy when he drops that crime bill and suspends your rights. I really hope y'all have the same energy for me like that y'all gonna have for that crime bill. I really hope. Because then maybe I'll say, you know what? Y'all finally woke up. Y'all don't get what's about to happen in this country. You really don't. Y'all were literally arguing with liberals that these illegals were getting rights that should be granted for citizens. But you still think it's a right. Oh, man. Barshong, I just told them about 2A. The 2A should have alerted them, but they're going to argue it. Actually, my dad's name is Robert, but, you know, that's okay. I know your daddy want to be Trump. I know. That should be a fucked up first name. Your daddy name is Trump. Yes, Adrian, we will move on from this conversation because I got to go to work. So you can go learn the difference between a right and a privilege. And as I figured doing this live, I figured the smooth brains would show up. Adrian just proved to all of us, family, that there's a lot of people out there that love the government. 2020 told us everything. Thank you, Truth Teller. Y'all literally watch college campuses get attacked for having open debates and the supposed freedom of speech to protest, which is under the First Amendment. Y'all watch that, but y'all still say it's a right. You saw people get deported and arrested, but you still say it's a right. You watch people lose their livelihoods on social media because they said something, but you still think it's a right. You're arguing for privilege, especially in a corporate structure. You're arguing for a right that doesn't exist. Let me help you. Alphabet allows you to put them comments in there. It's not your right to put it in there. Just like it's not my right to block you. It's a privilege for me to block you. But okay. Whatever your name is that just typed that in, I literally said not the illegals. I said legal citizens. As I said, free speech is not a right. It's a privilege. Just like I had the privilege to block them. I love how you think on YouTube's platform that your free speech is free and it should just be allowed. I love how y'all still think that. That's crazy to me. This is not old YouTube. This is new YouTube. When they have algorithms catching y'all's comments with certain buzzwords and they won't let us see it and you think we're blocking your comments. You think that. The same YouTube that if you write a comment with a bad word in there, you'll see it, but nobody else will see it until they vet it. Whenever you get arrested, whenever Trump drops that crime bill, he's in love with what the UK does and the EU does with their social media laws. Don't worry, it's coming. You're going to get arrested for putting up memes. You watch. They're already getting mad at folk for when they do these international incidents and put up videos of it. YouTube takes the shit down with the quickness. They already opened the door when they arrested journalists. They already opened the door. What do you mean this is in China? I ain't say nothing about no China. But don't worry, y'all see it soon. Don't worry. Y'all ain't never gonna admit I was right, but it's okay. People getting RICO charges for stuff they say in lyrics. All right. All right. But y'all think that. Y'all think it can't happen again on a grander scale. They did a job on y'all, boy. But anyway, I'm going to work. Might as well earn 2 checks today. Don't never learn. It sucks y'all will never learn. Because we need everybody on the front lines for this. Them people you heard on that panel, they want open freedom of speech with no consequence. Because you're really going to retrain people on that fact. All right, have fun. They're admitting to crimes. Okay, you're going to tell me there's other songs where people have admitted to crimes, but they're not getting prosecuted. There's plenty of songs in the country sphere that talk about they go and go see people. Why aren't they getting prosecuted for that crime? Why are they only targeting hip hop? Where is the country police? Where's the folk police? Where's the rock and roll police? Where are they? Steven, I'm actually smarter than you because I just explained it. But since you don't want to figure it out, I can't help you. But you'll find out when they start taking away these so-called rights, these privileges, and then you're going to be sitting outside crying, talking about, give us back our rights. But okay. As I just explained it, you said it's a human right, yet everywhere in the world it's not exercised. But okay. Okay. Mario, if you can't type in here, I can't help you. DJ, you need to go look at them country songs again, because there's plenty of country songs of them talking about they gonna go kill a motherfucker. Yo, Jason Aldean just put out a song saying, try that in a small town. And he actually admitted what he was talking about in there, but, you know, you got it. Okay. Y'all right. Josh Allison said, what country songs don't promote, what country rock music promotes violence, selfishness, and materialism? Are you fucking... Yeah, because they don't show they pickup truck in there. That's not materialism. That's not materialism. All right, you got it. All right. All right. Well, Steven, I know I didn't want you on my side anyway because I already peeped you way back when you started talking. I was like, you got somebody new in here, and now he agreed with everything I said. Now watch this. I ain't one of these conservatives, okay? So try again. DJ, there's little... Oh, God. He said there's never been a violent country song. Okay. Okay. He said there's never been a violent country song. All right. Top 10 creepiest country murder ballads. Well, that's from Rolling Stone. You're going to tell me that's leftist, though, right? Top country murder ballads. Okay. I mean, it's right there. It says Willie Nelson's Redheaded Stranger to the Dixie Chicks Goodbye, Earl. No, I'm not a Democrat. 18 of the most controversial country music songs ever written. They have a song called Murder Ballads. All right. Okay. It's also fictional. How do you know it's fictional, though? That's my point. How you know it's fictional? How you know those rappers aren't saying something fictional? Maybe you don't know this, but there's a lot of rappers that fake what they talk about. Maybe we should help you. We should help you with that. You literally got country songs, motherfucker. Oh, never mind. DJ, we don't know if they were based on true stories. They might have been. They're not prosecuting it, though. See how that works? But, you know. Okay, and you have country music artists that talked about what they did last week. What's the difference because they did it last night? True Teller said, why you leave out the dog? He left out the dogs and the pigs. They left out the silos. No, Stephen, I'm not a conservative. Conservatives don't like me. But, okay. Anyway, I gotta go to work. So hopefully you learned something. If you did, I done my job. If not, I'll try to be better next time. And if you didn't learn anything, that's great. Who cares? I'm sure there's somebody out there that could teach you something. Find them. They're there. Anyway, good. I don't like you either. Fuck you. Now, was that a right for me to say that, or was that a privilege? You figure it out. Good. You didn't learn nothing. Perfect. That's great. I did my job. Y'all take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence.